The prevalence of obesity has been rapidly rising over the few decades globally and in India. Obesity also predisposes individuals to type 2 diabetes, hypertension and cardiovascular disease apart from osteoarthritis, sleep apnea and even some forms of cancer. Obese individuals are also prone to psychological issues such as low self-esteem and depression. Medical intervention to manage obesity is very few, and most of them only work with a robust lifestyle intervention program. This leads to frustration among individuals with obesity, leading them to resort to extreme dietary interventions to obtain quick weight loss. One such extreme dietary intervention which has gained popularity in recent years is the ketogenic diet. What are ketogenic diets? Ketogenic diets are characterized by a marked reduction in carbohydrates, usually to less than 50 grams per day, and a relative increase in the proportions of protein and fat, usually extremely high percentages of fat because it is difficult to increase proteins beyond a point. Types of ketogenic diets. Standard ketogenic diet (SKD). This is a very low carbohydrate with moderate protein and high fat diet. It typically contains 70% fat, 20% protein and only 10% carbohydrates. Cyclical ketogenic diet (CKD). This diet involves periods of higher carbohydrates in between the ketogenic diet cycles, for example, 5 ketogenic days followed by 2 high carbohydrate days as a cycle. Targeted ketogenic diet (TKD). This diet permits adding additional carbohydrates around the periods of the intensive physical workout. High-protein ketogenic diet (HPKD). This diet includes more protein and the ratio around 60% fat, 35% protein and 5% carbohydrates, but as can be seen, it is still a very high-fat diet. The SKD and HPKD have been used extensively. The cyclical and targeted ketogenic diets are recent additions and mostly used by bodybuilders or athletes. The SKD is the most researched and recommended, and the rest of this article will deal with SKD. Physiological principles of ketogenic diets. All ketogenic diets contain a very low carbohydrate percentage. After a few days with such drastically reduced carbohydrate consumption, below 50 grams per day, glucose reserves become insufficient, both for normal fat oxidation through the supply of oxaloacetate in the Krebs cycle and for the supply of glucose to the central nervous system (CNS). The CNS cannot use fatty acids as a source of nutrition. Hence, after 3 to 4 days of carbohydrate restriction, the CNS is forced to find an alternative source of energy. This alternative source of energy is ketones. Ketone bodies are produced